Going for my morning walk, the doglet, and I wanted to do a little bit of a, probably TMI, but hopefully just some good reminders of great human interactions or how to make them a little bit better. So I have several people in my life who love to brag about the fact that they don't have to take pills. And I would love to not have to take pills. I can't tell you. I mean, I spend at least a little over half my life not having to. Occasional aspirin or cold medicine. And then, I don't know, the depression and anxiety that I suffer from just became over the top. Fully expressed itself right after I finished my PhD and my first postdoc. And so, yeah, literally pharmaceuticals have kept me alive and functioning. And I have chronic pain. I've been hit on my bike a few times. So there's a lot of us that suffer chronic pain with the ibuprofen and aspirin and maybe some pain pads. And, you know, we might complain about it to our closest friends or allies, but, you know, it's not like we're putting it out there on the web. Although I am right now. Haha. Okay. Anyway, so what I would say, because I know that these people who are bragging, and I would do it too, I totally would do it too. Oh my God. And I brag about the quality of my diet very often, and any number of other things. But let's just put it this way. Remember when you're doing that you have been lucky. You won some sort of lottery, not getting hit, or not having a serious accident, or not having scoliosis, or not having a propensity for depression, or not having been exposed to things that would cause long-term PTSD, right? Okay? Or maybe you've had all those things and you're fortunate enough to be able to afford to get quality therapy early on. That's just luck. That's just luck. Lots of things in life are random. The chilling factor is when, and this is very, very common, I feel like it's increased, you know, but I bet it hasn't. I bet it hasn't increased. It's just that there's more people on the planet, so I hear it more often, is the assumption of genetic superiority because you don't reflect something that's considered not normal. So humans fall on a spectrum of sizes, right? It's a normal distribution. Very few super short people, very few super tall people. Most of us are in the middle range. And I would say that every human characteristic, or a lot of human characteristics, definitely not every, but many fall in a normal distribution. And that just means the vast majority of us are going to be somewhere, 2/3 of us, or is it 2/3? I think it's 2/3, are in that middle of a normal distribution as a bell curve. So in that fattest part of the bell, that's where most of us lie. There's a ton of variation in that fattest part of the bell. And then there's also people that are on the tail ends. But there's very few on the tail ends or the outer portion of that bell shape, right? I know that I have value. I care about people. I care about the community around me. I've been working very hard all my life. I have been working extremely hard to help preserve the thing that's nearest and dearest to my heart, which is nature, and its diversity. And definitely not perfect, but I have value. So if people think that, oftentimes it seems like anyway, that if one thinks that because they don't suffer from a depression or some similar thing, or PTSD, or obsessive compulsive, or have chronic pain, it is a reflection of their genetic superiority. When maybe there might be some genetic component to it, but that's just one aspect of their life, right? You have an entire genome that's dictating an entire human being's reactions, and then those reactions are further complicated by the environment you grew up in, the resources you have access to or don't have access to, and then just the odd, random things that happen in your life, like the death of loved ones or the opportunity to get a fellowship. And you land with a bunch of people you chill with. You have a great relationship. So these, whether it's positive or negative, a lot of these events are random. And so when we talk about or lend ourselves to think that our new culture of super happy, super fit all the time is a reflection of our superiority, that leads to a loss of humanity. It leads to a loss of empathy for other people. I think it's dishonest, because I bet a lot of those people are just hiding their pain, their fears, the things that they find weak in themselves. And I'm thinking about this because I'm a very important advocate mentor of mine gave me a book on the shadow part of life and how humans should not only accept their shadow sides, but learn to embrace that shadow part of yourself, the part that you've put in a bag that you carry behind you, that your parents and then culture started cultivating about what makes you valuable and what makes you not valuable. All the things that are supposedly not going to make you valuable go in that bag. And that can lead to a lot of confusion, internal confusion. So, I just want to put a plug out for the shadow side. That doesn't mean that we celebrate the worst in ourselves or that we let the worst in ourselves run wild. That's just irresponsible and undisciplined. And it certainly lacks empathy. The point of embracing the shadow side is to have compassion for oneself so that you can increase your compassion and empathy for others. I gotta say, it's hard work. I'm not quite sure I grasp how to do it, but I think it's a worthy thought. Something worthy of ruminating about.